It was a crisp, cool afternoon in Maplewood, and the kind of day that begged for an adventurous game of hide-and-seek. The sun was beginning to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the yard of the old house at the corner of Oak Street, where the kids gathered every weekend for their favorite game. This house had seen generations of children run through its backyard, their laughter echoing in the air. But this particular day felt different. The breeze carried an eerie whisper, and the trees, with their branches swaying, seemed almost like silent watchers, waiting for something to unfold. The yard was vast, with thick bushes, towering trees, and an old garden shed at the back, whose rusted metal door creaked in the wind. It was a perfect setting for a game of suspense, a setting that would soon turn their regular game into something far more mysterious. Samantha, the smallest of the group, was chosen to be it this time. She had a reputation for being quick and clever, her eyes sharp as she searched for the best hiding spots. But there was something about today, something in the air, that made her feel like this game was going to be different. She grinned, accepting the challenge. "Okay, you guys better hide well. I'm going to find you," she called out. One by one, her friends ran off into the yard, disappearing into the thick underbrush, the tall trees, and the shadows of the old shed. They were used to the typical game. They all had their favorite hiding spots, but this time, things felt off. Tommy, the prankster of the group, had a reputation for being unpredictable. He was known for his elaborate schemes, and today was no different. Instead of running to the usual hiding spots like behind the big oak tree or under the garden bench, Tommy had a wild idea. "What if I hide on the roof of the shed? They'll never expect it," he thought, a mischievous grin spreading across his face. He sprinted toward the old shed, climbed the weathered wooden side, and managed to scramble onto the roof. The metal roof was slick with morning dew, and Tommy had to steady himself as he crouched down low. "Perfect. I'm practically invisible," he whispered, glancing down at the yard below. He was confident he had the perfect hiding spot. Meanwhile, Emily, the serious one in the group, took a more cautious approach. She believed in hiding in plain sight, staying as still as possible to avoid detection. After scanning the yard, her eyes fell on the largest bush by the stone wall. With expert precision, she crawled under the dense foliage, curling up into a tight ball. If anyone came close, they wouldn't be able to see her. She held her breath, feeling a chill down her spine that had nothing to do with the weather. Something about this game felt strange. Samantha began counting, her voice echoing through the yard as she recited the numbers. 1, 2, 3. The other kids scattered, but their laughter soon faded into the distance as they each took their places. A moment of silence hung in the air, the kind of silence that made the whole yard feel as though it were holding its breath, waiting for the game to begin. By the time Samantha reached 20, she slowly uncovered her eyes, the excitement bubbling up inside her. "All right, I'm coming," she called, stepping cautiously into the yard. The game was on. She took a deep breath, her sharp eyes scanning the yard. The wind had picked up, rustling the leaves, making it feel like something, or someone, was moving just out of sight. She paused for a moment, scanning the thick bushes, the towering trees, and the garden shed in the back corner of the yard. Everything felt still, too still. She started by walking toward the tall bushes near the stone wall, each step deliberate, her senses tingling with the anticipation of the search. She was a skilled seeker, but today, something felt off. As she moved, she noticed that the breeze seemed to whisper, rustling the leaves like voices murmuring just out of reach. Her eyes flicked toward the shed. Something about it seemed alive. Shaking off the feeling, she focused on the task at hand. She was determined to find the others, and she quickly spotted the bright red shoes of Max, who had tried to hide behind a tiny garden gnome. His legs were sticking out awkwardly, and the gnome's hat didn't do much to camouflage him. Samantha couldn't help but laugh. "Gotcha," she called, tagging him before he could scramble to his feet. Tommy's hiding spot was next. Samantha knew Tommy liked to be unpredictable, so when she saw the faintest movement on the roof of the shed, her heart skipped a beat. She didn't expect him to have the audacity to climb up there, but there he was, crouching low. She couldn't help but laugh at his silly, daring attempt to outsmart her. "Seriously, Tommy," she called. "You're hiding on the roof? You're not fooling anyone." Tommy grinned sheepishly and slid down from the roof, muttering something about how he almost had it. He was, of course, a little too pleased with himself for someone who had just been caught. Samantha moved on, but the feeling of unease didn't leave her. She walked carefully, methodically, her eyes darting around the yard. As she passed the bushes where Emily was hiding, she felt something, a strange sense of watching. She stopped dead in her tracks, her heart pounding. Something wasn't right. The wind gusted again, louder this time, and a cold shiver ran down her spine. "Emily." Samantha took another step and froze. The hairs on the back of her neck stood on end as she noticed something faintly sticking out from behind the bush. It was Emily's leg, but it looked wrong. Before Samantha could take another step, a strange noise pierced the air, a faint rustling sound from the shed. Samantha whipped her head toward the source, but there was nothing. The rustling stopped as quickly as it had started. "Emily?" Samantha called cautiously, her voice trembling. "You there?" No answer. Her pulse quickened. She knelt beside the bush and peered underneath, where she saw Emily, curled up, perfectly still. Emily's face was pale, her eyes wide with fear. "Emily, what's wrong?" Samantha whispered, her voice barely above a breath. "I heard something," Emily whispered, shaking. "I thought I saw something move behind the shed. It was watching me." Samantha frowned, unsure of what Emily meant, but her instincts told her something was very wrong. As they sat there, the silence grew deeper, suffocating, until a sharp thump echoed from the direction of the shed. Suddenly, a shadow darted across the yard, and Samantha's heart leaped into her throat. What was that? The shadow moved faster than a person could, slipping through the trees. It was gone before Samantha could even process what had happened. "What was that?" Emily gasped, clutching Samantha's arm. Without warning, the shed door creaked open. And then, a figure stepped out. It was a cat, but not just any cat. This one was larger, more menacing, its eyes glowing unnaturally in the fading light. The kids screamed and scrambled away as the cat darted past them, moving like a blur, disappearing into the woods. For a moment, no one moved, frozen by the surreal experience. It wasn't just a cat," Emily whispered. "It felt like it was hunting us." The game had taken a turn no one had expected. As the group gathered, shaken but laughing nervously, they realized they would never forget the day the game of hide-and-seek turned into a terrifying mystery. What had they really seen in the shed? Was it just a cat, or something more? As they walked home, the evening sky grew darker, and the house at the corner of Oak Street stood silent, watching them go. Moral of the story: sometimes, the game of hide-and-seek isn't just about hiding, it's about surviving the suspense. And maybe, just maybe, there's more lurking in the shadows than we realize. Always trust your instincts, and keep an eye on the shed.